Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on World Awakening. Oh, it just does my heart such good to know so many of you are gathered. And after the show goes off, I go and I take a peek at all the comments and everything. And they're always so filled with love and light and hope and promise. And it just thrills me to know that we touch so many hearts every week. And I'm grateful for all of you being here. Hello, dear, from Bangkok, Thailand. Oh, yay. Oh, that's great. Someday I'll get there. Hello, Laura. Good evening, sweetheart. You are so lovely. It's this is a wonderful, nice, safe space in cyberspace for us to gather and be birds of a feather, as it were. Tonight, I have two of my very, very favorite people in the world that are joining us now. One of them is just coming off of the Mackinac Bridge, and so he's got to get home to Sault Ste. Marie. He was at a baseball game with his son, and that's Blair. But one of the sweetest, kindest souls I have ever encountered in my 64 plus years, almost 65, is Tim Ellis. He is the personification of kindness and support and is brilliant and beautiful. But he's more than that. He's more than that. He's spirit in vessel, alive. And what he shares of himself with the world so generously all the time is inspirational to me, and certainly someone I think that all of us can emulate. So without further ado, please welcome Tim Ellis.
Oh, good Lord, Andre. You want to make a grown man cry before he comes on in front of your huge audience? I mean, I've never been introed like that before, and it hit me to the core, so thank you. It's probably it was the most beautiful intro I've ever had. I'm kind of speechless at the moment.
Well, you know me, and so I meant every single word of it.
I know that, and that's why it means so much to me. So thank you, and what an honor it is to be back on your show. You had Brad and I on in the past, and it's been a while because, well, anyone who knows Brad and I knows that we like our weekends and we like to have fun, and we're usually in a bar right about now. But it just so happened I had to work late. He's at his son's game, and it worked out perfect coming out of MI Paracon. So I'm so glad it worked out. Thank you for having us back.
Susan, yes, and Candace. You know Candace.
I do, very well.
Yep. We had I've been to so many. I don't even know how many. Hold on, let me get comfortable here. Oh God.
Get comfortable. Get comfortable. We got an hour here to hang out.
There we go. Yep. I've been to so many MI Paracons with you guys. I mean, I think 8 maybe. And I didn't know about it until the first time that I was invited, but I was kind of brand new into the field, just a few years in, and I don't know how I didn't even know about it. But when you contacted me and invited me and I accepted, I did not know what I was walking into. It was like walking in blind. And what I walked into, even the first year when I felt like nobody knew who I was, I felt like I walked into a wall, like a tidal wave of love. Mm. And I didn't know these people, but these people felt like they knew me,
right?
Because they had found their way to my books, House of Darkness, House of Light, which is the true story behind The Conjuring, in case there's anyone left on the planet that doesn't know that. And everyone was introducing themselves, and I was like, please try to remember their names. Remember their names. Okay, you've got the face. Just remember the name. I'm like, why doesn't anybody have name tags on? Right. Because it forces you to remember people's names. And it's funny. I often go into events and I'll walk up to someone that I saw 6 years ago, and I know that I know them, and they're like, Andrea, and I'm like, hey, you, how are you?
Right.
Oh God. So I walked into that place, and someone very gracious and kind, uh, like yourself, I think it was Steve, um,
Probably.
grabbed me and took me to my table. And that's when I realized that I had been placed beside someone I knew pretty well at that time, John Zaffis,
Hmm.
who tormented me all weekend long. And I'm adjacent to Tenny, who I had started really getting to know. And then there were several other people. It felt to me like you surrounded me. I know you didn't do this deliberately. I mean, I know you planned it out a certain way, to make it work for everybody. But it was like you surrounded me with my very favorite people so
Well,
that I would feel secure and warm and welcome at the MI Paracon. And I
and
think
there actually is a bit of truth to that, because back in those days, since those days, the event has grown so large. We've had to bring in, people to help us actually run the vendor rooms now. But back in those days, we were doing it all from start to finish, and we would do the placements of the vendors back then. And I do remember specifically knowing you were a first timer. John had been there before. Tenny had been there before. That was very deliberate, in all honesty. But back then too, we didn't have as many vendor rooms. We're up to 4+ vendor rooms now, and back then I think we were still maybe just one, trying to fill up one at the time. So
it was.
yeah,
It was the one on the first floor. We
right.
never went upstairs.
Right. So that there was a deliberateness to that, to be honest, because and I'll tell you the truth. I remember the first year we asked you to come in, Andrea. Um, we were still very young in the stages of creating Michigan Paracon, and there was a lot of people that we knew through, like, we knew of the Perrin family, we knew of your story. And it was kind of like, man, there's no way Andrea Perrin's not going to come to Sault Ste. Marie. It's not going to happen, but let's try. And we reached out, and we were so ecstatic when you said, yes, let's do it. And I'm like, awesome. Here we go. I mean, that's, and it's just it's very different now. And we're blessed to have it that way, to where, people are submitting their applications now to come. Back in those days, we were still trying to piece the lineup together. And we knew the family and we knew the story, and we're like, how amazing would it be to have this story on our stage? And you graced us with it. So thank you.
And I was so honored when I got the invitation, because I had heard people say it's a really great con. It really, I think you were maybe 3 or 4 years into
Right.
it the
Yeah.
first time that I came. And I'll tell you honestly, it made me feel like I was someone in the field, It did. It
Well,
made
and
me
you
feel
were
like,
there.
oh, wow, like I just took a quantum leap into the Michigan Paracon in Sault Ste. Marie.
Right, exactly. I'm guessing, and we're not offended if you say yes. When we called you that first time and we said, "Hey, Sault Ste. Marie," I'm sure you Googled it right away. Like, where the hell is this place?
Oh no, I knew about
Did
it.
you? Yeah.
I knew, and I was too reluctant to reach out and ask if maybe I might be considered for inclusion.
Yeah.
I was new. I was a newbie in the field, really. Just coming off the movie, and I was getting hit with a lot of interview requests and stuff. But I had to be very careful and selective about the different events that I went to. I needed to, I couldn't afford to say yes to absolutely everything. And I knew which ones I longed to be a part of and wanted to go to. And yours was at the top of the list, and I was embarrassed to ask.
Well,
So thank you for asking.
yes, trust me, it's been all our pleasure since, and the fan base that is a part of you now is amazing to watch how it's all grown, and how you've been able to really capture two different audiences. You have the conjuring and the haunting side of you, and we found this out as we got to know you. You've got this whole other alien and UFO side of you, which is awesome, because now we get to hang out at UFO Con in a couple weeks again with Deb and RJ. down, and that is one of my favorite events. And I know Deb's with us this evening in the chat room, so I can't wait till we're back together there. But what an amazing story we continue to find out about you.
Well, it's always been a part of my life, and it was the one thing I was most reticent to discuss because my sisters wouldn't even let me put anything at all about it in the trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. Their attitude was, you're going to be taken more seriously if you write about Deb DeRusse is here.
Yes, Deb.
Yeah, well, you know what? We got a whole section of the show that's just going to be about what's coming up at UFOCon. I feel like that I really can't. I'm at a loss for words for it. There's something about having moved to the farmhouse that is actually, because that's where I had my first cosmic conscious contact, was at the farmhouse.
Yeah.
And I had just turned 13. It was in October. And it changed everything, Tim. It was my total paradigm shift. But my sisters felt like I shouldn't include that I would be taken more seriously writing about the haunted house than I would about sentient, prescient beings circumnavigating our globe. And I was like, okay, fucking fine then. Okay, I'll just write a whole nother book about that, which you did.
Which you did. And I did. Through conventions like ours and many other great conventions that I know you're a part of, and conventions that are dedicated to just UFOs, you've been able to tell that other side of the story. But what I love about it is the two coincide. They go hand in hand with each other. The more I learned about the whole cosmic side of it with you, there's no doubt in my mind that had everything as much to do with the hauntings at the farmhouse as anything. Why, I don't know. And I don't know if we'll ever know. Maybe you do fully. I don't know we'll ever know. But I love the fact that there's a tie. It feels like there's a connection there. And I think that just adds to the mystery of it, which is kind of why we love doing what we do, right? We love the mystery and trying to figure it out.
Well, Tim, we had something happen while I was up there. And I must say that between UFO contact in Houghton Lake is where the most people seem to make contact when we're all together. And we all get lost in this building that we know really well, the Lakeside Resort. We get lost because we're not really wandering. We're trying to, communicate in 3D, but we're all in 5D, or we're in 4D. We're elsewhere on the dimensional continuum and integration that there's something. I mean, that place is built on ley lines. It's definitely haunted. There's like all kinds of stuff and energy going on there that's amazing. And I know you know it when I watch you step up on that stage and introduce, one speaker after another. You are so prepared. You are so staid and perfect in your presentation. But I also see the glint and the fire in your eyes. I know you are having a blast. You don't have all the pressure on you that you have at MI Paracon in the Sioux. You're done with that. You can relax. You've had time to decompress and breathe. And you hit UFO contact like a rocket. Yeah. And I love having you do what you do there. It is a remarkable, remarkable event. And between the Sioux and UFO contact and the Ocean State Paracon that I'm going to this coming next weekend in Rhode Island at the theater in Harrisville, in my hometown, with the farm like 3 miles up the road.
Too cool.
You have to come. I will make it happen. I want you and Brad to come to this event.
I would love to. And that's truly so. This year at UFOCon, I'm double blessed because Deb and RJ 3 or 4 years ago started to bring me in just to be the MC and host for the event. But this year too, they actually asked Brad and I to come in and speak, which is very cool. So it's a double awesome whammy this year at UFOCon. And you're right though, it's not pressure. There's no pressure there. It's not MI Paracon pressure to me putting on the event. I get to be a part of this event, but I get to relax and be around this. The energy there is as beautiful as it is at MI Paracon, and
It is.
And I need it because it's a recharge for me coming out of this beautiful 3 days of MI Paracon, and then the crash that happens after is real. The energy is gone. You wake up Sunday morning and all that energy is gone, and there's this hangover and almost this sadness that comes with it, to the point where I cannot wait to get back to UFOCon, because that's my recharge again.
Yeah, it's like our default mechanism that we can go to at exactly the right time of year when we need to just get hit all over again. Houghton Lake has many hauntings. See, I knew I was right about that. Deb and I never talked about this. I'm telling you, we never did. And so many Bigfoot sightings. You know, I
Not
met
surprised.
Bigfoot, and Bigfoot told other Bigfoots that he met me, and they don't believe him. So, you know, I'm not hanging with them. And I am telling you that those are interdimensional extraterrestrial beings that just
I love that
down and leave it. Well, they don't coexist with us here in the way that we think that they do. And I don't know how I know that from some download or another. But the point that I was going to make was, there's something about being at the zoo. Do you remember the first year that I was here? I think it was the first or the second year. And I took a whole bunch of people out into the parking lot, and we saw all kinds of great stuff. And that was the year that like 157 or 158 people called into the Sault Ste. Marie Police Department talking about UFOs. And the next morning in the paper, Zaffis comes in with the Sault Ste. Marie paper and throws it on the table. He said, "You did this. You did this." Well, that will always stick with me, because not only did I say, yes, I think I did, but that started something. I had never done what I did that night with a group of people before. That was the first time that I did.
Really?
And yes.
Wow.
And oh my God, it changed everything. It changed everything. And so anyway, you don't know this, Tim. This is kind of a surprise for you too. But Bill, would you start putting up some photographs of what we caught overhead? You happen to see that black spot and maybe a little bit of residual light on the right?
Yep.
That was directly over our head on Saturday night in the Sioux.
Was that seen by the naked eye, or?
It's very, I did not see it.
Okay.
Honestly, I did not. What I noticed was at where the sky above us was, it had practically no clouds. And so we saw a lot of the stars. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden I looked up and I didn't see any stars, but I did not see the vessel, and I did not see the residual light that appeared in the camera of one of our mutual friends who was standing right next to me. And if you look up in the corner, you see some green right there. Yep. Right? Okay. And then you see the form in the middle, and then residual light on the other side. Yeah. Bill, will you go to the next photograph? Okay. Do you see the 3-dimensional vessel?
Yep. I do. I see it right away.
Yeah.
We've never had photos like this from.
No. That was right over us. That was directly over us, because Christine Staunton picked up her camera suddenly and put it over her head, because she said they just told her to do that, and I wasn't using mine. So she clicked once, and these are all the photographs that we got from one click of her camera.
What night was this? Friday?
Saturday night.
Saturday night?
Yep, our last night.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Okay, Bill, can you go to the next one? I wanted to give you a little bit closer.
Yeah.
Tony Rathman, my producer out in Phoenix, worked with this and just brought it up like one nick of light. Okay. Do you see in the corner? You can see, right at the end of the parking lot under the covered bridge, there's one very tall tree. Really, that sticks up above everybody else, right? Yep. That's it. That's right there in the bottom of the corner. Can you see the dimensional, smooth outer rim of the vessel?
Mm-hmm.
It seems to be tipped on its side, and perhaps oval shaped.
Yep.
Okay. All right, Bill, can you go to the next one? All right. See, now she took this photograph. You can see the head of somebody over here, but you can see it's coming in. None of this was visible to the naked eye. You see the green that's coming in there, and then there's kind of an oval shape in the center and streaks of blue.
Yeah. Yep.
That was a photograph she took a moment before she was told to take her camera and put it over her head. She did not see this vessel, and neither did I, and neither did anyone else that was standing with us. Okay, Bill, can you go to the next one? That's what it looks like enhanced 2 times with the light. That light to the right was absolutely not visible, and neither was the vessel.
I'll tell you what I find fascinating, especially with the enhancement, is the light that's coming off the right. I mean, it's literally hitting it. You can tell that what it's hitting. You can see it's hitting something solid there.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that is fascinating.
Isn't that amazing? And Bill, do we have one more? That's it. That was the last one we got. What do you think of that, honey?
Jeez Louise. How did this stay, or at least not get back? Like, I can't believe someone didn't come running in Saturday night to find Brad or I to tell us about this. Wow.
Nobody knew about it. Christine sent me. Yep, Christine sent me the pictures after we looked at them that night. And all we had were the original black ones that were, very, very dark. And she's like, "Do you see what I see?" I mean, we were processing it ourselves first.
Yeah.
And then she sent me all of her photographs. There he is.
Hey, we know that guy.
You do Warp Factor 6 because I know where that bridge is, and you're home?
I did.
Cheers. Welcome.
Made it quicker than normal.
I guess so. Did everybody survive?
I did. I'm not sure about the people in the ditch, but...
Well,
in the ditch.
Tim, tell him he just missed like the best UFO pictures I have ever gotten.
What are we
talking? Saying something.
Ghosts, UFOs, feelings. What's going on?
A little bit of everything, but the pictures that came from Saturday night that I've never seen anything like that come from this
parking lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, you're just going to have to catch up with the show, because, I call. Tim, I call Brad Hubcap because I've been making fun of the UFO that I caught in the desert, and I posted it. I dared to post it when I got back from Nevada a few years ago, and he put some smart ass comment in the feed about, I was out there recently. I knew I lost my hubcap somewhere. And so that's why his nickname is now for me Hubcap. He likes to describe me as the Pied Piper of the paranormal, taking everybody outside to look up in the sky and see what.
Did you see were we looking at the new one, the big round thing? Looks like the big kind of nipple-less areola that's blocking out the stars.
That's pretty much the one we were looking at. Yeah. Yes. That one.
It's impressive.
The jokes will stop when the probes start.
There it is.
There it is.
I tell people all the time there's not going to be any probing involved with what we do. And I'm sorry if that disappoints anyone, but you're going to just have to cope. Go get probed. You're at a Paracon. You can get probed any which way you want. Just go do it.
And a lot of people do. We've heard stories.
Yes, we have. Yes, we have. That's for another show with a rated R rating.
Another show.
That's the after hours.
And it is going to have to be after hours because I've got several kids that watch this show that are devoted.
Not anymore.
Not if their parents are monitoring things. God.
Good Lord.
I'm so glad that you were able to join us, Brad. Talk to us a little bit about what this past weekend in Michigan meant to you. Brad and I have talked about this, over the phone just recently. And so I know you've got something to say, but let me preface it with, I think this was the best damn Paracon you've ever put on ever. No competition. And that really is a mouthful because this quality, extraordinary event goes on flawlessly year after year, minus our absence in COVID, but year after year after year, this event goes off so flawlessly. It looks like nobody had to do anything. It just works. But this year was off the charts. So what do you think, Brad? Am I right? Am I right about
it? No, you're not. I think it looks flawless. It's not. And Tim and I have always said, and the rest of the team, you're always going to have issues with a show this size. I mean, we had a little over 1,400. I don't have the final tally, but people there.
Yeah.
And as long as you keep that behind the curtain and the attendees don't see what's going on, that you're putting out fires here and here, and you've got a shitstorm going in this corner. And, this year it was the travel, which it's not the first time, but it's never been to this extent. And we had those tornadoes touch down in Detroit while about half of our lineup was stuck down there. Yep. And, if you haven't seen the pictures yet of Tim Shaw and John Zaffis sleeping in wheelchairs in the men's bathroom, you're missing out. But it was, somehow or another, we managed to get everybody in. A lot of people had to sleep in Detroit Metro Airport. I'm sorry. The next day, midday, I saw Jason Haas got off the elevator and was coming over, and I just gave him a real flat-faced look, and I said, "You're late." And he wanted to punch me in the face so bad. He said, "Don't even fucking start with that." And then I cracked up, and he gave me a hug. It's like, man, what a trip. But
what a trip.
I mean, once all that I was up all night Thursday just checking my phone and getting updates from Tim Shaw and people calling in. And once that somehow managed to get straightened out, I think the show went over well, and we've had amazing feedback on it. We've sold out 135 VIP seats already. Within we sold some at the show within a day of announcing. They were gone. And that's without announcing a single presenter for next year. So I think that's a testament to the way the show's gone. It's people are coming for the camaraderie. They're coming for the parties. They're coming just to be together. And for those people.
And I think it also shows that there's a huge level of trust now for people to buy tickets before we even mention a name, because they trust us to put together a quality show year in and year out. And that's what we aim to do. And I think that just shows the trust that they put in us now. And that's a big responsibility to take, but we love it. And we're glad they trust us.
Yeah.
Wow.
It does say something when we look back at year one, and we were fortunate with the partnerships that we had then, that we kicked the event off, and I think we had somewhere around 650 attendees, and we thought that was huge. And then it was.
It was.
It was a day and a couple hours was all the show was. Now, Jesus, it's Wednesday we had the pre party, then we had the pregame party, Rapids Lounge at the casino, and then Thursday now we started at noon, and it just doesn't stop. My feet are still sore, honestly. My feet and my back. It's just nonstop for about 5 days.
Yeah. I want to know which one of you chose the brown chair for, the last night when we sat out and Jessica.
Oh, for Jessica's
interviewed us. Yes. Because
actually, Lance did. Our IT guys who chose that chair.
Oh my God. Did he know it had no base? I mean, you can literally watch us sit down and sink down about 6 inches underneath. I mean, I'm a stage actor, okay? I didn't have to put on being stuck in that chair and turned it into like a Tim Conway moment, from Carol Burnett. I was stuck in the chair. And then Tenny got stuck in the chair after me. And I don't know how Amy or Adam rolled out when it was their turns. I don't know. But I need to know from Lance, who, by the way, Lance did an absolutely fantastic job with the excerpts of Beyond the Grave, my new movie coming out. Mm-hmm. I'm really excited. September 5th is when it comes out. I don't even know where it's going to premiere or how or anything, because my producer is so busy. I haven't had a chance to talk to her. I probably will over the weekend, and then I'll let people know. But I was honored and felt very privileged to be able to premiere segments of this film that I'm very proud of on your stage. And Lance stood there with me and we clipped and he did it. I'm a techno idiot. And to watch him just make that happen, just to be able to watch the screen and say, okay, stop there. Okay, we'll start here. All right, stop there. And he just did it. And he made it so easy. And I felt so bad because I brought the material to him late. It took me 22 hours on Thursday to get to you before anything happened, 22 hours to get to Sault Ste. Marie with the weather from hell. It took us an hour and a half to drive from the Detroit airport 10 miles north.
Yeah.
An hour and a half. There were cars overturned everywhere. Everything looked like lakefront property. Roads were closed all around the airport. How Lynn and Jeff got us up to Sault Ste. Marie, I still don't know. It was a miracle. And then we were just south of Saginaw when the alarms went off in our phones and they said tornado warning. And it was for 100 miles behind us. And that's when the tornado came through and killed 7 people. I think Dustin Parry had a cargo van tucked up underneath an overpass for protection. It was wild. I can't think of a year that compares in terms of the adversarial weather that we all faced getting there. But it sure was worth it. And then it happened to me. We had the same kind of storms going on in Atlanta when I'm coming home. And we got delayed. We had to circle Nashville. We had to circle Cincinnati. We had to wait and wait and wait because of the ground stop in Atlanta. So I got it coming and going, but the in-between, it's like it was hell last summer going to Scotland, and it was hell coming back from Scotland. But then I was in Scotland. And this past weekend I was in the Sioux with really some of my very best friends and loved ones in the world.
Hey, Scotland, Sault Ste. Marie, hand in hand. I get it.
Yeah, sister.
Andrea, I do have a question for you though. I need to know, and I think I saw a few people in the chat already asked, are you and Tenny now legally married after that kiss? Are you?
That's a great photograph. I don't know who got that photograph, but they nailed it perfectly. I didn't send it to Bill because I would never want to embarrass John, but I will treasure that thing and I'm going to have a copy made of it and I'm going to frame it and stick it on my wall in my man cave. Because, he asked for that. That was a pucker up buttercup moment.
Oh, yeah.
His lips were pursed up he was ready. He asked for that. I would never have been so presumptuous. You know how he is about PDA. He's a fucking Virgo. He's, he was just, I turned around and there were those lips. And how could I say no? And I'm not answering the first question because I've had probably 1,000 people say to me over the course of the last 10 years, why aren't you two married? And I go ask him.
Imagine the dinner table conversations between you two on every given night. If you were married, it would be amazing.
It would be fun. Yes. It would be. But that's the thing about Tenny. I'll say it loud and clear right here, right now. There's no man on earth like him. No. He is my higher love. I can't even imagine having another man in my life. That's not even possible. And he is, regardless of if this is all we ever have, just moments like that over the years as we stumble into each other and embrace, one Paracon after another. I love him with all my heart. And he knows it. Mm-hmm. He loves me too. Life's weird and he's weird and I'm weird and we'll say I don't know, but All right. So that's all I'm going to say about that.
All right.
I completely humiliate myself. Completely. Okay. All right. So, any other questions that don't have anything to do with that stuff? That heart I wear on my sleeve.
I don't think so. If another one comes to me, I'll just ask.
Okay. Well, I had one very important question to ask both of you that Brad just answered. And that was, is there going to be another Paracon?
Hell no.
Yes. Obviously, tickets are already on sale for the 14th annual.
Yeah.
So
We did sign for another year. And at this point, we're taking it 1 year at a time. It's just...
I know how much it is.
It's
Nothing looks that easy that wasn't really hard. I know. I do.
There were a lot of difficulties behind the scenes that, really, honestly, nobody's business. But let's just say this was one of the most difficult years to tie everything together. So that the fact that you're telling us that it was your favorite year yet really means a lot. And a lot of the attendees did too, and we're still hearing from, and I apologize if we haven't gotten back to people that are messaging us. It's just that week. It's the week after. We're still trying to wrap things up on the business side of things from it. And we've been so inundated that it's really easy for some of the messages people are sending in to fall through the cracks. If you don't hear something back and you're looking for an exact response, hit us up again next week. It's not that we're ignoring anybody. It's just a time issue. And
I'm sure everyone understands. I'm
Tim
sure.
and I both actually have jobs.
Yeah.
So that doesn't make things
that and
easier.
that.
Yeah, there's that. Jobs, families, that kind of thing. And plus we're working on 2 new presentations for a couple of events we're speaking at this fall yet that they're going to be a lot of fun. We're having fun putting these together. One, UFO Con, I'm sure you guys have already chatted on. And then we're heading over to England the end of October for Sage Paracon. And we're hitting more of a cryptid notes on the presentation. We're working on that. So we've never had anybody speak on cryptids over here. And it's not as big of a topic, but the people that are there are really fascinated. So yeah, half of our second book, Great Lakes Monsters and Mysteries, deal exclusively with cryptids. So we're tying together some British cryptids with what we all know and love here, and of course bringing in Nessie from Scotland and Bigfoot from the States, and some of those just weird, creepy little critters that are here there that you see out of the corner of your eyes. So that one's a lot of fun to work on right now. But yeah, I mean, on top of the event, we do speaking at events all fall. So, that's just kind of the kickoff for everything. We call it the kickoff to spooky season. When the end of August gets here and Michigan Paracon hits, spooky season's underway.
Well, it was the weekend, the morning that I left at 5:15 a.m. I leaned over and kissed my mother and wished her a happy birthday. I left on her birthday. I came back on my father's. So she turned 84 last weekend, and my father turned 88. So, it always falls on right around their birthdays. And so it's, I can't think of anything else that would drag me away from my mother's birthday than going to the zoo. And she understands completely. I mean, when I brought my sisters, do you remember in 2019, pre-COVID?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
When I brought my sisters, Christine, Nancy, and Cindy, and my father was there, and we did the paranormal panel.
Yes, we did the whole panel with the whole family. It was amazing.
We probably still have that up on Creek and Gore episode somewheres.
Oh, that would
I guarantee it's in our podcast vault. Yeah, it's out there.
Oh, wow, that would be great. Oh, I'd like to clip that and stick it on my YouTube channel, too. We'll get a bajillion hits on that.
Yeah, we'll get it over to you. It was a wonderful interview, great show, and what an honor. I mean, as far as I know, correct me if I'm wrong, Andrea, that was either the first time and the only time that's ever happened where the whole family, other than your mom, but we called her and sang happy birthday to her.
We did, and
Yes,
and a
live
couple
on
of
stage.
people asked questions.
Yes.
We put it on speakerphone, and a couple of people, I believe, asked questions of her.
Yeah, that was a
So
pretty
she
special
was
moment.
there too, and April was our angel on our shoulder
Right.
that weekend. I don't know if I ever told either one of you, but everybody in our family saw April at the Paracon.
Really?
Yeah, everyone. And I mean, April was a very distinctive looking individual. I've never ever seen another woman that really looked like her. And we were all in the elevator on the second floor past the bridge, the crossover. And we went into, and as the elevator door was closing, she was walking through. She wasn't opening she was walking through those two wooden doors.
Yeah.
Before you get into the foyer area. And my father looked at me and he's like, "Did you?" I'm like, "Yes." And then Nancy said yes, and Christine said yes. Cindy was the only one that didn't see her. And she was there, and I mean full body apparition there, not a light that you think might be April. She was there, and we saw her 2 different times that weekend. So
Did you
yeah,
find that
we had the
comforting?
whole Perrin family.
Did you find that more comforting, Annie?
Oh God, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, yes. And April has come through with Cody and Satori a number of times. She's still an Aries on the other side, and she kicks everybody to the curb so that she can, just plow right through and say what she wants to say. And no, I always feel April was not really able to travel with me very much when she was alive. April goes everywhere with me now. She does. She finds a way, and I don't think she's like deliberately earthbound. I think she's doing lots and lots of different stuff, but she knows everything. Well, my mom's been sick and in hospice care here. April's presence has been profound in this house. She's always around. So yeah, it is comforting. Does it make loss any easier for any of us knowing that we go on? I don't think so. It doesn't for me. I grieved. I couldn't even talk about April for 5 years before I could talk about her without sobbing. So yeah, I think that we all grieve differently, and loss is profound to all of us. It's the only true measure of love. And I dread the moment that my mother leaves us. I dread it. But I also know that this is my one and only chance to do everything the right way, where I can still have my career, but also be here to be a round-the-clock caregiver, which is in its own right like a full-time plus job. But it's my pleasure and my privilege to do it. You only get one chance to do it right with this.
That is true.
And then I squeeze in, I've cut way back. I've cut way back on the events that I did this year. I've been here 9 months now. But I wouldn't miss St. Marie for the world. We arranged the logistics. I mean, it's not just the logistics to get to you. It's everything that has to be arranged so that Christine has help here in my absence. So, yeah, it was a big deal, but was it worth it? And did I need it? Did I need it? I thank you both so much for doing this. Who thought this idea up in the first place? I mean, don't tell me you dreamed it up over a Blatz. Don't tell me.
No, because I don't
There's
drink
some truth to that.
Because you don't drink that swill? Okay, great.
Yeah. This is not the swill. This is different.
So,
That is different. That's Tabasco sauce, isn't it? No, that's what it looks like.
well, Tim and I always used to travel to these type of events. I mean, when we were, you have to go back to pre-reality television days, and we had a team operating when there were only 5, maybe 6 teams in the state of Michigan. We were around and out in the field doing investigations, and we'd get on the road and go to any small conference we could find here and there, because you didn't get your intake of paranormal. I mean, we read a lot. Tim and I are both voracious readers. and Steve and Lance, who founded the team with us. And we've been friends since the first grade, literally back to the 70s. So we would travel when we could hit these little cons, and the TV show thing popped up, and all of a sudden the field blew up. And we were coming back from, Tim was doing a show called Taps Family Radio, and we went down to, it was called TapsCon down in, I think, the Tampa Clearwater area. And we were flying back, and we'd kind of shot the idea back and forth a little bit. And we're bullshitting on this plane ride back about, what if we tried to do something like this in Sault Ste. Marie? Would anybody come to it? Because Sault Ste. Marie is the end of the United States. Literally, you keep going, you're in Canada. And we kicked it around a little bit, and we talked about venues. And it just so happened, we talked about the local university a little bit at one point, and we ended up talking to Kuwait Casino. And Russ, the head of entertainment at the time, was a fan of the paranormal reality shows that were just starting to flourish. And he was also looking for new entertainment ideas. So he hopped right on board with us. Was not the easiest thing to come in knowing nothing. We had a few contacts, John Zaffis we knew, and a few other people in the field that helped us put together a little bit of a lineup. And I think we did 2, maybe 3 presenters on the Friday the first year, then Saturday 5 or 6. But it was kind of funny. We really wanted to get Jason Hawes and Grant Wilson in. And by the time we got the green light to book, they were already tied up with another event. And the person we were booking through said that, well, they're already tied up. We can't get you them. There's this new show that's going into its second season that's really getting a following, and I can get you all 3 of their head guys for less than I could get you Jason and Grant for. It's this little show called Ghost Adventures. And so we ended up with Zach, Nick, and Aaron as our headline act that first year, which everything, the stars aligned, everything fell into place, and their second season really took off for them. They got traction, they got the fan club going, and next thing you knew, people were flooding into Kuwait casinos for that. We never thought we'd go beyond 2 years. The original plan was if year 1 went well, maybe they'd give us a second year. Maybe we could work that out. But we never thought that we'd be sitting here 14 years later, just having had the 13th event. It never occurred to us ever, because no other events really went more than maybe 2 or 3 years. There were a few. Ursula Bielski, Chicago Con, kind of comes and goes, but she had a very successful run with that. And then you've got the bigger, the comic and horror crossovers, Dragon Con and Scared Fest, all of these different bigger ones. But for a strictly paranormal conference like ours, there was no such thing as having more than 2, maybe 3 years. And we didn't expect to.
Yeah, and the truth is, we didn't have a clue what the hell we were doing.
We still don't.
We still don't. We're still tripping over each other's feet and whatnot. I think what helped was the fact that both Brad and I have backgrounds in marketing and promotions. So I think we learned real quick what we needed to do to put on an event, but it didn't mean people were still going to come. As Brad said, Sault Ste. Marie's on the way to nothing. You've got to be coming here for a reason. And we knew, and we knew if we were going to make this work, we had to put together an event that people would travel for and come to the Sioux. And I mean, as Brad said, here we are 14 years later, we're still scratching our heads saying, what lucky piece of pile of shit did we fall in? Because holy cow.
It's a paranormal tradition. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. People come from all over the world to this event now. But it is the heart and the soul and the wonder and the energy and the enthusiasm and the fake it till you make it and everything that you do, that just culminates in this magical love fest that we all so enjoy. We so enjoy it. And so, this was lucky 13 for me.
If it wasn't for the attendees and presenters like yourself coming forward and telling us how important the event is to their yearly calendar and what a family gathering it is, we wouldn't still be doing this. We would have threw in the towel a few years back. Probably, we talked about it at one time when we approached year 10. And then with COVID, it was, is this just the time to hang it up?
Yeah.
And, we've lost a year. Is there going to be any momentum? Are people going to come back out after that? We have no idea. Nobody did. So when we set things up for that follow-up year, and we were diehards. We waited it out until 2 months before the event before we canceled it. We just can't do it. We can't risk it.
I know Greta and I talked a lot about that. Should they, shouldn't they? How safe is this?
Yeah.
You know what? When Greta and I talked about it, we have 3 minutes. Oh, thanks, Bill. I wonder how many minutes ago he put that up. No.
5 minutes ago.
Looking over there. But, we were talking about, because it's such a close-knit area, community. Sault Ste. Marie is just a very special place. But I would have felt so bad if we collectively, the para people that would go to Sault Ste. Marie would infect Sault Ste. Marie. I was really concerned about that. That was something to be concerned about at that time. You made the right decision. You did the right thing. And then when we got back together again, wasn't it blissful? How many times did you hear, I will never take any of my friends for granted again, ever. It was wonderful. And I thank both of you from my heart for joining me tonight. I mean it when I say I love you. I love you both. You are dear friends of mine. And how lucky am I to have met you all those years ago as the promoters of an event with a great reputation, and now have both of you on speed dial, be able to call you anytime I ever want to, regardless, and know that I am loved and supported, and you know the same from me. What a gift, what a blessing.
Yeah, agreed. Totally agreed. I don't want to take up too much time. I know we got to go, so we'll leave it at that. We'll let you say the goodbye.
Well, I will, but it's not goodbye. It's so long until next year, and I better be on that itinerary next year. And I'm
we haven't talked about that yet.
Early next year. I am. I want to be there, rested and ready to hit the ground running. Okay, and I'll
probably be here for the pregame
movie that's coming out.
Excellent. You should be in for the pregame party next year.
I will be, darling.
I'll bring you in Wednesday next year. Yeah.
That's a promise. Well, thank you, everybody that joined us for A World Awakening tonight. I love you all. Remember, be the change you wish to see in the world. Be the beacon. Be the light you seek. Good night.